Marshmallow Fanboy back with another review, this time of Masters of the Universe Masterverse, Princess of Power Catra, and Masters of the Universe Revelation Mer-Man. I usually like to do these kind of separate, like Princess of Power on one side, Revelation on another video. But these two I have from a long time ago. I found them and I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't opened these two. They had price labels on the windows I took off for the review, but I got them probably on a Black Friday. They were really cheap. They were $10 each. And I thought, oh, I don't have these. I'd like to have them. And so I'm excited about opening them, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I lost track of them, and here they are. So with that, I'm going to go over the packaging. Of course, their names are on the side. Very nice. Very cool artwork on the back. And of course, a little bit different artwork on the side of the package, but really nice artwork on the side. Wish they had trading cards of that kind of stuff. It was really cool. From the packaging, I have Zodak. I don't have these versions of He-Man or Skeletor. I now have Catra. I don't have these versions of He-Man or Skeletor here, but I do have Teela, and now I have this Mer-Man. So I have one half of each wave as shown on the back. I didn't want to get Viking, He-Man, and Skeletor, and I didn't want to get whatever this was. I think it's the new Netflix cartoon version of He-Man and Skeletor in the Masterverse likenesses, because I didn't want to kind of set a precedent and have to get the Teela from that series and the Man-at-Arms from that series and the Trapjaw from that series. As it turned out, I had nothing to worry about. They just came out with the He-Man and the Skeletor, and then they stopped. They have a whole separate figure line for those figures, so maybe that's where they're keeping it, is in that line. And in the Masterverse, they just said, well, let's do these two characters really quick and just see what the response is. And I'm guessing they stopped after the response was sort of, why can't I get these other figures? These other figures are better. Those other figures were more for kids than for adults. But that series is more for kids than adults, I think. So that's a lot of editorializing. So why don't we bust these open and take a closer look at each one of them. Now that we've got them out of the package, let's take a closer look at Princess of Power Catra and Revelation Mer-Man. Now, this Revelation Mer-Man, I think, is from later on in the series. I think they have an encounter, and he's got the armor and everything else, and then they encounter him a bit later, and he's messed up from that first encounter. And angry. So, first let's go over some of the accessories. On Catra, she has this shield that has kind of an inlaid sort of gem in it. It's hard to see. It looks just like an empty cavity, except that there's definitely like a little gem in there. It's just very invisible. If you were going to put that in for Catra, it should have been maybe a little tinted, a little bit of a point of difference so that you could see it, because it just doesn't really look like anything. She's also got two sort of grip hands. Let's see if that's true. That's a grip and that's a grip. Yes. No fists. She has a motioning claw hand, that I put on her, and she has this other, I guess that is sort of a claw hand that I put the scepter into. I didn't notice, but it holds the scepter. So, well done. As far as Mer-Man, he has the sword. He has the pitchfork, which is behind Catra's back. And he's got two sort of motioning hands, two fists. And I have the holding hands in his already plugged in. For Catra's scepter, there's a nice green gem. And it would have been cool if that green had been in the shield as well. So that there was a little bit of a kind of a match situation. Because the gray parts are the same color, but this gem is clear and this is green. Of course, it's not a gem. It's not translucent or anything. But that is very cool. Catra has a purple cape that was kind of pinned down in the package, which is really nice. I don't know if it matches the cartoon, or just matches that original figure, but it's very cool. The costume is that Horde red with sort of a brighter red where the Horde logo is on her chest, and on her belt there's, I think, Horde logo. Oh my god, is that just Hordak on her logo? When I look at it a little bit later, it'll be much bigger, but on my phone it looks very small and indistinct. But there's some striation in there that looks like there are leather pieces that come together. So that's nice. The gauntlets have the sort of the bright red of the Horde logo, but then it has this narrower dark red place with a kind of a design in there. But I'm not sure what that design sort of represents or pertains to, but it's like an arrow. It's like, hey, you claw this way. As far as the mask does, I think it comes down, or it feels like it should come down. It probably does, but it may be held on a little bit by sort of an invisible band or something. I'm not going to take that off because I don't know that I'd be able to get it back on. There's something around her neck that's like that's meant to sort of connect to the top of the chest piece, and it's supposed to maybe be the thing that the cape is draping out of, but I think that you could probably take that off. Oh, it's connected to the cape. I see. So it is connected to the cape. Okay. So you could take that off, but the cape would come off also, which I don't know how big a deal breaker that is for you. That's a deal breaker. No cape. I don't like that. So that is Catra. It's a very cool figure. Mer-Man's sword and pitchfork are very cool. The pitchfork has the light blue metal, kind of green, it's kind of a teal. I can't describe it. The staff is also kind of this deep blue-green, and it has sort of the gold, the sort of the dark orange entwined in there. The sword does too. The sword's blade is that kind of light green blue with it's a black handle, but it has the same sort of orange, dark orange tinge that the trident. Well, it's not a trident. It's a pitchfork or the duo fork. I don't know what you call it with that. But the sword is really cool. Has a lot of character to it. You see where it's supposed to be sort of sharp. It sort of reflects nice. It's just really cool. And of course the knuckle guard on it is just as sharp and just as deadly. He could punch you and slice your face off. So that's it's sort of blunted here. So I guess it would still act as a sort of a knuckle guard and sort of defend it and block things here. But that's really cool. That's a lot of editorializing. Sorry about that. So Mer-Man himself is very well detailed. The scars on his face, had to do new sculpting just for that face to get the scar in and get the eye closed, the one eye open, and the scars on the chest. It just looks really good. It looks really like the cartoon. It looks like he's really battle damaged. And that first one was really regal and very oh man, he's, in charge of everything. And of course, he's got the kind of the gem in here. Still has the gem in his belt too. So he's still got some of those touches that make him. I think he was king, but he's definitely still got those touches. But now he's also just, revenge driven and just a little bit. Well, super angry. That is Mer-Man. So Catra and Mer-Man are great additions to the collection. I didn't have Catra as a kid. I didn't have Princess of Power figures. I had moved on from Masters of the Universe. By then, I sort of was into. I saw the movie with She-Ra and He-Man, and that was cool. But I had moved on at that point. But I became a fan again because of Netflix's She-Ra series, and of course, Catra was a huge part of that. And Catra looked more cat-like. And I hope that one day Mattel will do a Masterverse version of that cartoon. But until then, these are awesome. And until next time, enjoy your toys.